It was actually kind of interesting. I was to really kind of not necessarily go back to basics, but actually focus in and snapshot where organizations have been innovating, banks have been innovating around some of the core processes and, let's say, basic interactions. So from a client to a relationship manager, from a new way to do account opening, these types of things, and that's what we want to focus on. So bear with me, please. I'm going to be as efficient as I can for you. It's the worst slot to be before lunch, so please be kind. And let's get started. Here we go. Let's start here.
This is perfect for Mom.
Yes.
It's $30. I'll get it. Will you send me 15?
Yeah, totally.
Snapchat has Snapcash. Just use your cash tags. Send money easy. It's oh so breezy. Snapcash with Snapchat. Chat your cash amount straight from your bank account. Send money easy. It's fast and breezy. Snapcash. And you'll be cleared fine. Put in your debit card to get Snapcash online.
You can connect your card and it will be stored securely for future transactions. A wise investment at any age.
Here's a new feature rolling.
Okay, so that's not the whole video. I encourage you to go have a look. What is that exactly? That is we know Snapchat, obviously. But in effect, what we have here is a very basic peer-to-peer lending tool that has an experience layer over the top. In reality, that's actually the only part that's innovative. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And what Fjord has done, and actually where we specialize, and we work with a lot of our clients, to try and accelerate to market customer experience, innovation, while technology is being built, is being developed, while it's almost impossible to wait any longer. So banks, we've heard and we know, are in a very tough situation globally. I used to work in a bank. My job was digital transformation. The focus was to regain trust. This was at Barclays in Europe. And the challenge is that in many cases, when we look at new technologies and new direction, they take a little time for the bank to adapt. But at an experience level, there's opportunity for customers to reconnect and for the bank to ultimately fulfill a new role in their life, reestablish some trust, and what we want to do is just show how we've been doing that in some cases. We know they've evolved, and it runs on, sort of our approach runs on one core principle, is that your apps, your mobile phone, everything that happens on it is actually an expression of personality. And as soon as that's realized, within any financial institution, you automatically begin to rethink how you engage your market in a very different way. In a very simple way, the best app is winning today. We have to almost atomize, begin to accept that one size does not fit all, and begin to break things into pieces. And when you begin to think about core banking processes, so it sounds a bit like, oh, core banking, especially it's tough following all of these new fintech competitors. But when we talk about core banking processes and almost begin to break those down also into ways that mobile payments have been broken down or international transfers have been broken down, you also start to see a lot of new opportunities exist. There's a space around cost reduction and efficiency, which is driven through customer experience, and then there is also something actually quite more future-focused and innovative, which takes a little more time to go. The point is, though, is that you can improve efficiency and not harm customer experience, and at the same time, connect emotionally with your customer over time. So ultimately, when we break this into banking, we see two sides. There's explicit banking, sort of traditional interaction, traditional channels, but in the sense of digital. And I'll talk about what that means. And on the other side is this more implicit banking, where it's less about direct connection, but more about ecosystems and partnerships, and ultimately becoming a curated member and sort of lifestyle partner of your customer. We'll move quickly and show a couple examples. First, traditional but fun. Taking existing process, existing interaction, and doing something quite exciting with it to, again, refresh your brand, connect back with your customer with limited technology investment, and using customer experience as the differentiator. Typically, when we start this conversation, digital is about killing paper. That's part of it, but that's not all of it. The problem with killing paper tends to be something, and this is an actual advertisement, very provocative, highly provocative. One click will save your life. This is from an insurer. Maybe you can figure out which one. It looks fast, you've got an F1 car, it's gonna move, the marketing is there, but in reality, that one click actually took you to this. It was a PDF that you had to fill out, and you couldn't even email it. You had to send it in the mail, or you had to fax it. I mean, I don't know what a fax is, right? So for me, it's quite a complex thing to think about. But for us, the idea is about saying, if I'm going to digitize process, it's good to get rid of paper. But what we also want to do is think about that process, not moving the paper into a digital space, but rethinking the entire process as if it was always digital. I'm going to use an example from Telco as one of our first clients. This is Trey in Sweden. This is a phone bill. And even if you understood Swedish, you wouldn't understand this phone bill. I'm going to go on a limb here. The challenge was actually to reconnect with their customer while also reducing calls to their contact center. They came to us and said, let's just digitize it, right? Email the PDF, it's done, suddenly we have a great story to market. For us, when we talk about digital and innovation, and we talk about an interaction, which effectively this is, it's the same as a phone, as a banking statement every month. It's the same as a credit card statement every month, a mortgage, any statement, any regular interaction. For us, we think about value. How can we make this more valuable for the customer as opposed to reduction in cost? So this is the approach. This is actually a phone bill. And what it is, it's an app. It's actually a service. When we talk about level of investment, the technology was quite minimal. We're using existing data feeds, we're using existing core platforms, but what we're doing is adding a visualization layer over the top and turning it into an app. Sounds quite provocative and fun. 70% of people are using this app each month. 40% of their clients actually download it in the first 90 days. What's actually quite amazing about this is that half of those people stopped calling the contact center. The other thing that's not noted on here is we saw an increase in Net Promoter Score. It went up 35%. There's a quick video just to summarize so you get a feel of what we talk about. But again, the point is, keep in mind, this is not significant technology investment. This is data visualization and an app layer launched to market. So what's also cool about this is that this is 2012 that this actually launched to market. So it's quite old, basics. Today, though, when you look at what's happened to this interaction, is it's become an e-commerce platform, actually, for Trey's customers to trade with each other. Nothing significant, not small business, but I'm moving and I have this table I need to get rid of, and I can use it as a way to access a trusted community, and it's all being facilitated through what used to actually be a phone bill. So when you rethink the basics, you really start to open up additional opportunities that may not be foreseen. But remember, again, this is 2012. On a different angle, Barclays. The challenge at Barclays was actually about creating a common experience, reinvigorating the market, exciting their mass affluent customers across 4 countries in Europe and the Middle East. Again, through innovation of core process, from account opening to investment sales, and also reinvigorating the experience of the relationship manager, so the workforce. The first step was actually about rethinking not just features and function, but core design. It needs to be beautiful. By the way, this is also 2013, so also quite aged. And so everything needed to be fresh and exciting. We wanted to move people into a self-service scenario, but we wanted them to be happy. We wanted customer experience to improve by removing them out from the branch, removing the reliance on a human, and allowing them to begin executing. And at the same time, we wanted Barclays' workforce to be proud that they worked for that brand. So they were out in the market, out in the community, away from the branch, engaging with customers with very exciting interface, and executing core banking processes on something at the time that was quite exciting, which was a bloody iPad, and doing process in a different way. The good thing about digital is we've got videos for things, and I can take breaks every few minutes, so I'm going to play a quick video that connects all of these things and shows you, again, using design and some very, let's say, light integration. So we talk about an OCR engine, a biometric signature engine, but in these cases, we're not touching anything in the core banking platform. On another angle, when we start to talk about, again, how else can I do this without necessarily total transformation, this one I love because it's fast, it's simple, you can take it with you now and probably do it tomorrow, but it's a mashup, and it's inspired by music. And what we like to do is take different brands. This had to do with the US. We take different brands, and we apply principles or learnings and experiences from that brand to improve, again, a basic interaction or a core banking process for our customers. So in this case, a quick example of Urban Buddy, which is kind of like, it's like human Airbnb, where you can kind of like sign up and find a friend in whatever city you're visiting based on shared experiences, and they'll show you around. They become your private guide. And then Stitch Fix, which uses a lot of visualization to answer questions. And what we did was, with this bank, we wanted to apply it with account opening and profiling. Know your customer became a very different experience here. And that's what we wanted to do. So when the person first signed in, totally on the mobile, what we're able to do is welcome them, take inspiration from Stitch Fix, and highly visualize quick questions to understand where their priorities were, what their interests were, what type of spending patterns they had. This is before any analytics. Analytics engines sometimes are expensive. Sometimes it takes time. So we want to know what's possible. What can we get from the customer very quickly? And suddenly we have a profile. And what we also have is an opportunity to connect them with a relationship manager, a bank employee who's there already, but is being presented to this new customer in a very different way. Highly provocative, extremely simple. Basics. This is also about 3 years old. But here's the deal. We know that you can only go so far with adjustments, so we also start to talk about, I don't like to say total transformation, but also kind of rethinking in general when we really want to become a lifestyle partner or kind of really push the boundaries. And so there's just a couple examples there. What we do know, though, is that also a lot of times that you can only go so far with innovation around core process. And so we know that a lot of innovation in the banking industry, as we've heard today, as we hear in many other cases, is coming from the edges of the industry and not necessarily from the core itself. A quick sort of that when you start to compare different industries and that overlap between financial services, in a lot of cases, we don't know who owns what. What is Apple today? What is Kickstarter exactly? Depending on what interaction you have with BBVA, I'm not totally clear what they are. So this is the idea. And sometimes we need to be, again, a little more provocative when we push the boundary on core process and find those partnerships and find those inspirations in other spaces. So this is where we talk about lifestyle banking. And what I want to do is talk to you a little bit about iGuarantee. Guarantee Bank is an established sort of top 3 bank in Turkey. And if you've never been to Turkey, this is a completely wild financial services industry. Highly concentrated, highly competitive, very aggressive. The top 3 banks, East Bank, Akbank, Guarantee, always compete. Okay. What Guarantee wanted to do, though, was actually address one core issue. And it's a demographic issue that Turkey faces like no other country. 51% of their population are younger than 25. So we know that talking to them in traditional banking language isn't going to cut it. But we also know that there's an opportunity, Guarantee knew there was an opportunity to do something quite provocative and focus in on this group. They wanted to create a bank, a mobile experience, totally living in that space to address this market. Now, what they did was, the view was also to think, okay, if I've got a highly connected world and I have a demographic that is highly unpredictable, why should I create a bank that works for all of them? Let me create a mobile banking experience that allows them to build their own. So effectively what you have is a mobile bank with modules, very simple. And it allows the user to decide which modules are going to be on their screen at which moment, and effectively they build their own mobile banking experience. Again, very quick video just to explain, give you the summary, and also some of the results. This is also 2 to 3 years old. The new version will be coming out in 1 month. It's been completely rebuilt. Some features have been removed, others have been extended, and it was all based on user experience, monitoring, and sort of what's been going on generally around new innovations and things like that. But here's a quick summary of how it went in its initial launch.
No doubt, the center stage belongs to smartphones in our society. We take them in our hands first thing in the morning and leave them just before falling asleep. This is the age of the connected customer. iGuarantee, a totally different banking platform, has been created with this fact in mind. iGuarantee is a smart financial coach on smartphones. It focuses on everyday financial needs of the customers and, aside from banking transactions, provides personalized services, all of them created to ease the user's daily lives. So let's take a look at some groundbreaking features of iGuarantee. iGuarantee recognizes the favorite brands of the user based on his or her spending habits and offers exclusive campaigns from these brands. Through Foursquare integration, the app also recognizes the user's location and actively informs about any campaign from nearby brands via a push notification. An estimated monthly budget is another plus for users. iGuarantee makes estimations depending on previous spending. And on a single screen, customers can see their current balance, scheduled monthly payments, and savings. And the avatar makes smart advice based on the outlook. Another first is that iGuarantee, being a socially connected application, allows social money transfers to Facebook or Foursquare friends, or directly to phone numbers. Now that the smartphone becomes a digital wallet with iGuarantee, users can add all their physical cards by scanning them to Wallet and store them, as well as withdrawing money from ATMs or making payments for their online or on-site shopping by using only a QR code. iGuarantee also features a mobile piggy bank where users can make savings with just a single click. Last but not least, users can navigate within these cool features just by speaking to the avatar. All these conveniences put iGuarantee on the spotlight right after the launch in May. First results show a major success with 100,000 downloads in less than a month and 75,000 active users. On the first day, it became #1 in all categories, and Apple editors announced the platform as new and noteworthy.
So why is it interesting? I think there's a few things. Is that as soon as there was an opportunity for a mobile interested demographic to engage with the bank, you had $18 million US dollars saved on the first day, and $3 million US dollars distributed in loans, in addition to a number of other banking products at the core. The other key point here is also light touch technology. The partnership with Foursquare was about opening an API, understanding where customers were, where their friends were, and knowing ahead of time where they might be, and then offering them discounts ahead of time. So the bank effectively offloaded that entire analytics process to Foursquare, and then just took advantage of the insight. It's really interesting. The final one I'll talk about is segment and product innovation, which is something we see a lot of. Now, this pushes the boundaries a little bit. And this is a bank, which I can't necessarily name right now. But the challenge is that they've redone all their channels. They've redone all their core processes. They've begun to push the boundaries as well on customer service and physical experience and sort of done all the things they want to do. But the question was, what's next? So the focus comes down to, again, segment and product innovation. Let's change mortgages. Let's change credit cards. Let's change the experience for farmers in banking. Let's change experience for old people in banking. So just to wrap up, what else are we seeing in other places globally? I'm not going to talk through all of these. There's a lot of conversation in many places about loyalty programs. And we've had challenges on creating loyalty programs for the mass affluent, creating loyalty programs for high net worth people, and across the spectrum. The other has a lot to do with the role of the ATM. We have a challenge in Southern Africa from one of our clients that's saying, how can I use my ATM, which I've bloody got everywhere, to almost serve a social purpose around connectivity? Can I turn the ATM into a Wi-Fi hotspot? And this is a completely different role and service now that the bank is playing. I love it personally, it's one of my favorites. Another interesting one is around account number portability. So if my mobile phone number can travel with me from telco to telco, why can't my account number move from one bank to the next bank? Highly provocative. And then of course, once, if you listen carefully, obviously throughout the morning, a lot of conversation, not just here for LATAM, but also Southern Africa, and even in many parts of the US, rural US, and Europe around financial inclusion. Hopefully it was useful for you. Hopefully this was interesting. Hopefully you take something away. I have 45 seconds, so I'm perfectly on time. We were nervous it wouldn't work, but there we go. So thank you very much for your time. Please enjoy your lunch, and I'm happy to answer any questions outside. Thank you.